Hi, I'm Debbie Harbeck, and I'm a certified life coach working with women in midlife and through the menopause transition. So each week, I'll be sharing the latest information, inspiration, and generate some momentum so you can move forward and feel more in control of your changing midlife body and your life. Let's go. Hi, and welcome back to the podcast, and happy September. I know that this is a bittersweet time of year for some of us. Summer is ending, it's a little sad, and then fall is beginning, and here fall is such a beautiful season, so I know a lot of us really enjoy it, but I know summer is hanging on, and I'm sad to see it go. So we got mixed feelings going on. But today, in all this emotion, I want to talk about something that is close to my heart. And it's about weight loss and why weight loss seems so hard right now in midlife as you're going through this perimenopause, menopause transition, and why even just maintaining weight seems difficult. So I know it's one of the biggest frustrations of pretty much every woman that I meet, especially in my coaching practice. And the truth is that it is harder, but maybe not for the reasons that you think. Yes, for sure. Our hormones are changing. That's a given. But just because our hormones are changing doesn't inherently mean that we'll gain weight. It's not a given, and it's not necessarily a symptom of menopause. What it does mean is that how we store our weight will change. So if we put on weight or if we lose weight, it might be from different areas of our bodies than we're used to. And it might mean that it's more in the middle of your body. That's generally what's happening. So our weight might not change, but our shape might. And that's something we do have to accept as we get into this time of life. So, I want to address this big question in this episode. Why is weight loss so challenging? And to offer some extra support. So, I've put together a free guide. It's called 6 Game-Changing Strategies to Lose Weight and Build Strength in Perimenopause and Menopause. I know that's a long title. And after this episode, you can go ahead, go into the show notes and grab your free copy. I've packed it with details, tips, and ways to actually start putting into practice what we'll be talking about here. Just to give you a little background as to why I created this, and I'll first really be honest with you, I've wrestled with the idea of creating this. I really struggle whenever I choose to shine a light on weight because, as you know, we live in a culture that has long equated women's worth with the size of our bodies. And I really don't want to add to that noise. That is not my intention. As a coach and as a woman myself, I am deeply aware of the harm caused by diet culture, by unrealistic beauty standards, and by the constant pressure to shrink ourselves, not just physically, but in other ways as well. At the same time, I keep hearing it from the women I talk to, from the women I work with, that this midlife change in hormones actually does make weight feel like a daily struggle. So we can't ignore that weight is still an issue, even though we want to not think of it. And the fact is that so many women still feel stuck because nothing is working anymore as it used to. And it can take such a toll mentally and emotionally. So here's a truth that I have landed on. Talking about weight loss doesn't have to be about diets or shame or chasing a number. What I think it can be is about reclaiming your energy, feeling strong, gaining health, and feeling confident in a body that supports the life you want for the long haul. Because when I speak to women on a deeper level, these are the things they really want. It's never truly about the number on the scale. We all just want to feel good about ourselves, outside and in. And that's why I created these 6 strategies. They're about building strength in your body and resilience in your mind. So let me give you a glimpse, a snapshot into what you're going to find in this guide. So I'm going to go through these six on it, not as deep a level as you're going to find in the guide, but just to introduce you what I'm going to be talking about that is going to make weight loss a whole lot easier for you in midlife and not something you have to spend so much time thinking about. The first one I'm going to start with is eating enough because food is the biggest issue that comes up when I talk about weight loss. And it's the one that most women want to address. So I address eating in this guide. And what I focus on here is not about taking away food, but instead I focus on adding. So I share what you need to know about protein and fiber and healthy fats. So you can actually add these to your meals every day and support your hormones and your metabolism in midlife. I don't talk about restriction. I only talk about what I want you to be focused on and what I want you to eat enough of, because a lot of us aren't eating enough of these foods in midlife, which is why we are struggling so much sometimes when it does come to weight loss and when it does come to keeping our lean body mass on. So that is about the food. Strength, I do talk about strength training. It is a non negotiable. The way I see it in midlife, it has to be a non negotiable. And now I know up until now, when it comes to weight loss, most of us are focused on cardio. We've always equated cardio with calorie burning and therefore weight loss. Now, cardio, I'm not saying doesn't have a place. It definitely has a place. We still need to bring our heart rate up, but lifting weights is the real game changer in midlife for protecting muscle mass, for protecting your bone mass, and to increase your metabolism as you go through this time of life. And it is even cardio, if you want to think of it that way, because if you go and lift some weights today, I will tell you, you will get your heart rate up and you'll feel it. In the guide, I talk about why this shift in focus from cardio to building muscle is so important and also what it should look like. So, how often, how much, and a lot more than that. So, that's in the guide. The third thing I talk about is prioritizing sleep. Now, I didn't put it first, but it should be first because sleep isn't optional. If you're not getting enough good quality sleep regularly, that is the most important thing you should be focused on ahead of food and ahead of working out. Because without good sleep, weight and stress hormones become an issue. And you're not going to make great decisions if you are sleep deprived. So, I'll share how to set yourself up for better, deeper sleep and what to do when your hormones are messing with your sleep cycle and then you're waking up in the middle of the night and can't get back to sleep, or you can't get to sleep when you go to bed. So, these are things I'm going to talk about in the guide. I'm also going to talk about the fourth thing, which is managing stress. Now, I've talked about chronic stress here on the podcast, but chronic stress, when it comes to body fat, it literally changes how your body stores fat. And yes, some chronic stress can be due to trauma, but a lot of it comes from the fast paced lives that we lead. And here I share simple nervous system regulation practices that can change the whole picture for you, that can reduce the stress in your life. And that's what I really want you to do. The fifth thing I'm talking about is in this guide is about what you're focusing on. And I don't want it to be weight. So the truth is that what you focus on grows. So I don't know if you're familiar with this expression, but when you think of it, you'll know it's true. So, for example, if you focus on red cars, you're going to start seeing more red cars around. I dare you to do it. Go outside and do it. Same goes for focusing on the number on the scale. If you don't want it to grow, focus on what you do want to grow, like strength and health and more. And I'm going to talk about how you can make this shift in the guides so that you can focus on progress rather than a number on the scale. And finally, what I'm talking about in this guide is your mindset. All the things you do are one thing, but who you are, which is comprised of what you're thinking, how you're feeling, that is probably behind everything that you choose to do. So we need to look at your thoughts and figure out what's going on and then shifting them so that your self talk and your habits and your identity aren't in such a constant battle with what you want to get done. So I'm going to give you actual mindset shifts that you can work on. And this is such a big topic. And I love this topic. And it's such a big part of the coaching I do because it really does underlie all our habits. And I'm going into it in this guide. So each of these 6 strategies are simple and they're powerful. And together, what they are is about creating a strong and vibrant, capable version of you that can carry you through this second half of your life or third act of your life, whatever you want to call it. But I want you to do that with confidence and feeling good. So I really want you to be at your best beyond just this messy middle part. So go ahead and grab the free guide. It goes into a lot more detail than I've given you here, and it gives you some practical ways to get started right away. So head to the show notes and go and download that. The 6 game-changing strategies to lose weight and build strength in perimenopause and menopause. And if you found today's episode helpful, it would mean the world to me if you shared it with a friend who also might be navigating this season, who also might be navigating weight and maintaining weight and weight loss and building strength, because no woman should feel like she has to figure this out alone. We can do this together. So thanks for being here with me today. I'll be back next week with a fresh new episode, and keep moving forward. Bye for now. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Midlife Momentum Podcast. If you want to learn more about working with me, come visit me at DebbieHarbeckCoaching.com. That's Debbie, I-E, Harbeck with a C, coaching.com. See you next week.